1978 Chevrolet Caprice. In the late 1970s, Chevrolet had a fancy lineup called Caprice. One of these was the Chevy Caprice police car from 1978, which many law enforcement agencies loved. This car received updates on its grille and taillights compared to the previous year's model. Here comes an interesting fact. This police car shared many similarities with regular Caprices. They both had engine options that anyone could choose from. However, one thing stood out about all of these models. They were part of General Motors' Project 77 downsizing program. So what does it mean? Well, GM believed in making their cars more compact without sacrificing comfort for passengers or space efficiency for carrying important things like luggage trunks. By doing so, rear seat legroom increased while exterior dimensions decreased, along with weight reduction, which allowed better gas mileage, saving precious fuel resources too. Can you believe that by the end of 1978, over 1 million downsized Chevrolets rolled off GM factories worldwide? Overall, if you saw a 78 Chevy Caprice rolling your way back then, there would be no mistaken identity, as it always required respect for being a well-built, classic, cheekily named police interceptor. The slang term gained popularity thanks to TV crime dramas depicting high-speed chases. 1944 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. The 1994 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor is a big, powerful car that cops love to drive. It's a four-door sedan and was built strong with a beefy frame and body construction. Under the hood, you'll find an impressive V8 engine that pumps out 213 horsepower. That's enough power to make anyone feel like they're in charge of the road. This police cruiser also comes equipped with a spacious tank so officers can store all their gear with ease. In fact, this bad boy can hold up to 20 cubic feet of cargo. Imagine what kind of stuff you could fit back there. To top things off, this vehicle gets decent gas mileage for its size, around 16 miles per gallon city driving and up to 24 on the highway. Ford manufactured these classic cars from way back in '92 until recently in 2011, when production stopped after over 1.5 million vehicles were made, including plenty used by law enforcement agencies across America. 1983 Chevrolet Malibu. The 1983 Chevrolet Malibu 9C1 cop car came in two styles, a four-door sedan and a stylish two-door coupe. This car had some serious guts, with different powerful engines available like the V6, V8, or even bigger. Its tough frame could withstand anything in its way. This bad boy also had special features to help cops do their jobs better, like reinforced roof and frames, a heavy-duty brake system for quick stops, an oil cooler to keep it running smoothly under pressure, and air conditioning so they wouldn't break out in sweat on hot days chasing down baddies. Plus, other extras made this car extra cool. Bucket seats up front make driving comfortable, while locking rear door handles added safety measures during high-speed chases. And don't forget about all of those neat gadgets inside. Radios for keeping tabs on fellow law enforcement types nearby, plus emergency equipment such as fire extinguishers, just in case accidents happen. 1965 to 1997 Porsche 911. Every law enforcement agency faces unique challenges. For the German police patrolling the famed Autobahn, the challenge is keeping up with traffic on roads that often have no speed limits. Their solution? The Porsche 911. The 911 has never been cheap, but for the Autobahn, it's a logical choice. Especially in the 1960s, when the 911 was still new, the Polizei Porsches became iconic with their cream and green paint. And it wasn't just the Germans who chose the 911 for highway duty. The Dutch Highway Patrol also used 911s, painting them orange and white. As more conventional sedans have become more capable and powerful, the need for 911 police vehicles on the Autobahn has diminished. However, Porsche was still providing cars for this duty as late as the 1990s. One of these later police cars is displayed at the Porsche Museum in Stuttgart. The 1973 Dodge Polara 440 Pursuit. The 1973 Dodge Polara 440 Pursuit was a super cool police car that everyone admired for its amazing power and performance. It had an engine with a massive size of 440 cubic inches, that's like 7 big bottles of water put together, and could generate up to 285 horsepower, which is more than 3 times the strength you need to move your bicycle. This beastly machine could zoom up to 141 miles per hour, which would make anybody feel as if they were flying in the sky. The body style of this beauty was just like any other normal sedan, but it looked sleeker because it had been specially designed for law enforcement purposes. The only thing we don't know about this impressive vehicle is what kind of transmission system it used back then. To help policemen get their work done quickly, the car came equipped with all kinds of special features such as lights and sirens so that people knew when they heard them coming. And even though everybody knows police cars are pretty fast these days too, there's still something truly awesome about seeing one from earlier years on display somewhere today. Chevrolet Impala SS Police Car. The Chevrolet Impala SS Police Car is one cool ride made exclusively for law enforcement peeps. It's based on the Impala Limited model and comes in two different versions, patrol or undercover. Depending on the year of make, this bad boy may be rolling with a V6 or V8 engine that will get you where you need to go fast. Speaking of safety features, it has some top-notch ones. StabiliTrak electronic stability control that helps keep your wheels under control when things get slippery out there, plus various other safety bits and bobs like performance mode and traction control. But wait, there's more. This slick machine also boasts heavy-duty front brake pads so it can stop at a moment's notice. The suspension system is legit too. A four-wheel independent setup means reinforced everything from struts to stabilizer bars, keeping those cornering skills sharp. Inside is cozy but functional. Upholstery choices abound depending on needs. Dual cloth bucket seats up front provide space between them just right for all sorts of gear, while rare vinyl seat covers are easy-peasy cleanup after exploding coffee cups during chases. 1987 Ford Ltd Crown Victoria. The 1987 Ford Ltd Crown Victoria Police version had a really powerful 5-liter engine with special gears for hard work. Its frame, brakes, wheels, tires, everything were made super tough, so it can handle anything thrown at it. Inside the cop car's cabin, that means where you sit, there were soft seats big enough for 2 people and good carpeting underneath their feet. To keep things quiet while driving on duty or fast chases around corners, extra insulation blocked out noise from outside. On the outside of this cool car model used regularly by officers all across America, guess what? It didn't have those kinds of extras like normal cars do. No vinyl roofs here. They stripped down certain fluff to make these cruisers more effective when traveling long distances between towns. And hey, if you wanted even fancier upgrades, they offered something called Crown Victoria, which added some top-notch stuff inside. Automatic features controlling windows, mirrors, and seats, plus other neat equipment, making life easier during an emergency. 1972 to 1974 AMC Matador Enforcer. AMC always seemed on the brink of collapse, but that didn't stop them from trying to boost their image with a police version of the mid-size Matador sedan. In 1972, the Matador featured AMC's largest 401 cubic inch V8 engine with 255 horsepower, making it an iconic police car of the 1970s. At that time, American Motors didn't have that great a reputation, but the Matador was an extremely good police car, said veteran LAPD driving instructor Jerry Bush to Hemmings Muscle Machines in 2005. It was fast, had superior brakes compared to the Plymouths, and handled pretty well. We convinced the Motor Transport Division that it would be best to train officers in the cars they would be driving on the street, not in older cars. They agreed and gave us a fleet of 18 new Matadors. As Matadors were retired from the LAPD fleet, they often ended up in movies and TV shows. It's hard to watch an old episode of the A-Team or The Rockford Files without seeing one get absolutely destroyed. 1972 American Motors Javelin SST. Have you heard about the 1972 American Motors Javelin SST police car? It was a special version of the Javelin created just for cops patrolling our highways. The police car had some serious power under its hood with a Fleet Service 401 4V V8 engine that could get up and go. This high-performance engine had an impressive displacement of 401 cubic inches. That's equivalent to around 6 large water bottles, and featured a fancy 4-barrel carburetor. The transmission in this baby was automatic, making it easy for officers to focus on their jobs instead of changing gears. Part of the second-generation lineup, there's no exact number mentioned regarding how many were made, but we do know they sported custom appointments ready for action. In addition to upgraded exterior trimmings, rally instruments would have helped law enforcement stay ahead while chasing down those pesky baddies trying to break laws left, right, or center. Fun fact alert, the Javelin SST police car holds historical significance as being America's first pony vehicle used by highway patrol officials. How cool is that? 1991 Ford Mustang SSP. Did you know that back in 1991, Ford released a unique version of the Mustang just for police departments? This car was called the Special Service Package, or SSP, and it provided law enforcement officers with a speedy and agile option for their patrols. It had a powerful V8 engine under its hood, which allowed it to quickly catch up to any bad guys trying to escape. The car also came equipped with special features like emergency lights, sirens, and antennas, so cops could communicate easily while on duty. What's interesting is that there were only around 385 SSP cars produced in total. Can you imagine how rare these vehicles must be nowadays? Everyone agrees that overall, speed and acceleration capabilities definitely impressed many people, thanks largely to its snazzy engine. If you ever come across one of these iconic 1991 Ford Mustangs out on the road someday soon, keep your eyes peeled. It'll undoubtedly stand out due to not only its cool colors, but additional badges identifying itself as part of local law enforcement agencies, making it feel both important and nostalgic simultaneously. Dodge Aspen 1980. The Dodge Aspen 1980 police car came with a variety of different engines, including a 6-cylinder or high-performance V8 with dual exhaust. It had some heavy-duty suspension components to handle all the action that comes with being on patrol, like sway bars front and rear, beefier shocks, and springs. To make sure it stopped on a dime when those bad guys needed stopping, cop brakes featuring semi-metallic brake pads up front, along with an insane proportioning valve just for police cars, were added as well. No messing around here. You would have seen this beauty cruising down your street in its classic white paint job, one of the go-to colors used by law enforcement agencies across America at the time. Inside, you'd be greeted by both cloth and vinyl seating options designed to take plenty of wear and tear during long shifts out in pursuit, chasing after those pesky criminals. All in all, the Dodge Aspen 1980 police car means business. 1975 to 1979 Chevrolet Nova 9C1. The fuel crises of the mid-70s led many police agencies to look for more fuel-efficient cars, moving away from the full-size sedans with big block engines. Motor Trend magazine's then executive editor John Christie had a bright idea: build a smaller police car using the body of the compact Chevrolet Nova sedan and many high-performance parts from its sibling, the Camaro Z28 performance car. Through his job at Motor Trend, Christie had contacts within General Motors, and as a reserve deputy with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, he knew what law enforcement needed in a car. He combined these insights, and in 1975, the Nova 9C1 police vehicle went into production. It was powered by a 350 cubic inch small block V8 engine, producing 170 horsepower. 1971 Ford Falcon XY500 GTHO Phase 3. Back in 1971, Ford made a special version of their Falcon car just for police officers to use. The engine inside this beast was super powerful. It had a V8 engine with lots of valves and could make the car go fast. The cops could choose between driving a stick or having an automatic transmission instead. The XY GTHO Phase 3 was not lightweight either, weighing in at around 1,524 kilograms total. But that didn't stop it from being crazy speedy. It only took about 6 seconds to get up to 100 kilometers per hour. This unique ride also came with some sweet designs on the outside too. There were spoilers both front and back, plus something called a shaker scoop right smack dab in the center of its hood. And as if all that wasn't cool enough already, inside you'd find even more surprises fit for a cop car superstar. There was an extra special speedometer rated perfect just for law enforcement folks like these guys, along with switches so they could blast those sirens when necessary. To top things off, a fold-out ticket pad was ready whenever someone needed to get pulled over and issued fines. All told, 300 lucky drivers got behind the wheel of one of these cars way back when. But guess what? Rumor has it that anywhere from half to almost 2/3 are still out cruising today. 1991 Chevrolet Camaro. Did you know that back in 1991, the Chevrolet Camaro was a hot ticket item? It came with different fancy add-ons, and one of them was called the Police Package. This bad boy had some serious upgrades to make it extra tough for law enforcement use. You could get it as a 2-door coupe or convertible style if you enjoyed feeling wind on your face. Underneath its hood were powerful 6-cylinder and V8 engines ready to roar. But wait, there's more. These special police versions also included ultra-strong front and rear sway bars, HD brakes so they don't wear down easily during high-speed chases, and coolers just for the engine power steering transmission combos. And if that still wasn't enough to impress you, the speedometer went up all the way till an astounding number of 145 miles per hour. That's pretty fast, even by today's standards. 1988 Ford Escort XR3i. The 1988 Ford Escort XR3i police car has a killer 1.6-liter engine and runs on a manual transmission, making it extra unique. Why are cops drooling over this bad boy? Because of its impressive performance. The XR3i can zip up to top speeds of 120 miles per hour in no time flat, just what they need when chasing down crooks who try to outrun them. Check out those features. It's got flashy alloy wheels that catch everyone's eye, special tires for maximum maneuvering power, and an enormous rubber spoiler that looks intimidating as heck. Suffice it to say that you don't want to mess with any patrol cars rocking the mighty Ford Escort XR3i badge, because these things mean business. 1968 to 1970 Plymouth Belvedere Pursuit. In 1968, Plymouth redesigned its midsize cars, resulting in one of the cleanest designs of the era. The police version of the Belvedere sedan was a straightforward prowler, winning sales with a combination of excellent power from its 330 horsepower, 383 cubic inch V8, and low prices. For urban police, it was a near-perfect combination. If you ask why Plymouth, shouted Plymouth's 1968 police car brochure, take a 20 miles per hour corner in one, at 60. The Belvedere police package was agile and fast enough to catch the eye of muscle car enthusiasts. So, in 1968, Plymouth took the cop car's mechanical components and put them in a two-door shell to create the classic Roadrunner. This generation of Plymouth patrol cars also gained fame as an automotive star in the TV show Adam 12, which ran from 1968 to 1975. The 1970 Ford Police Interceptor. The 1970 Ford Police Interceptor was a top-of-the-line vehicle with some pretty impressive specs. Under the hood, it boasted an incredibly powerful V8 engine that measured in at an astounding 428 cubic inches. To make sure officers could keep up with even the most speedy suspects, all models came equipped standard with a heavy-duty Cruise-O-Matic automatic transmission. This model wasn't just efficient or useful, it looked good too. It had 4 doors and made for one mighty fine-looking sedan on those high-speed chases down highways. And let's talk about speed. This car was no joke when it came to performance power, something the police appreciated during high-speed pursuits on long stretches, consequently making their job easier as they try to get ahead well-prepared before their suspect flees. 1990 to 1995 Ford Taurus. Back in the 90s, Ford released a second version of their Taurus car called the Police Package. This bad boy was designed to look like your average Joe's ride, but secretly had dual exhaust and could hit speeds up to 140 miles per hour. Plus, it even had an odometer that could rack up 1,000,000 miles. Talk about durability. Not only did this redesigned Taurus come ready for action with its speedometer and durability features, but it also included optional and later standard airbags on the passenger side. In fact, it became one of America's first midsize sedans to carry 2 airbags as part of its safety measures. While most cars aim for high sales volumes, Ford specifically targeted lower numbers, around just 50,000 or so. They wanted quality over quantity when creating their 6th-generation model, which sized up against vehicles like Avalon instead of Camry, though some people weren't too keen on using the police package vehicle themselves. 1982 Ford Fairmont Zephyr. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, Ford created a special car just for police officers, the Fairmont Zephyr. This bad boy was sold under 2 names, as the Fairmont at Ford dealerships or as the Zephyr at Mercury dealerships. You could get it in all sorts of shapes, sedans or station wagons, you name it. Now here's where things got interesting. A new front look with 4 headlights came out on this baby during this last year in 1982, while regular street versions had to settle for an older grille from another model called Elite. Police variants were also larger than regular models thanks to more engine choices like a chunky inline 6 with 200 cubic inches available right off the bat by the start of production back then. In fact, some cop cars even got their own special instruction sheets. These detailed every customized bit added that helped make them ideally suited for patrols. If you ever come across one today when searching through an old junkyard, see if there are any clues hiding inside which reveal exactly how different they truly were compared to normal everyday rides. 1974 to 1993 Dodge Ramcharger. For many police agencies, especially in rural and mountainous areas of the West, a standard sedan isn't enough for patrolling certain jurisdictions. The rugged terrain or the need to travel off-road requires vehicles that can handle rough conditions. To equip officers in these areas, many departments chose the Dodge Ramcharger, a 4-wheel drive SUV based on the Dodge Ram pickup. Although many police and sheriff departments use these trucks, there is limited information about specific police packages being available. This suggests that agencies typically bought base models and had them equipped for service duty. The early models were well suited for this as they came with no added equipment. Even the passenger seat and rear bench were optional. It appears Dodge understood that these vehicles were destined for service as rugged workhorses. So those were some of the iconic 70s cop cars. But what about other eras? Let's take a look at some memorable police cars from different times. 1978 Plymouth Fury. Check out the 1978 Plymouth Fury police car. This baby was a legit police car back in the day, and it's been restored to top-notch condition. Under its hood is one mean machine, a 440 V8 engine known for packing some serious heat. Driving this bad boy would be smooth as silk thanks to its A727 Torque Flight automatic transmission that can withstand tough conditions while shifting smoothly. Plus, it features an advanced A38 police package with all kinds of fancy upgrades made especially for law enforcement officers. Pretty cool. But wait, there's more. With power steering and brakes included, you'll have complete control over those tight turns or quick stops. With classic white coloring usually reserved only for cop cars, who knows, maybe even your local department emblem painted on these sides will make heads turn. Oh yeah, did we mention history? You're not just getting any old beat-up cruiser here. This particular beauty belonged originally to Virginia State Police, so no doubt they kept her well maintained. Even better news is she hasn't driven much since the revamp restoration process, just around 5,000 miles. 1992 Jeep Cherokee AHB. Back in 92, the Jeep Cherokee XJ got a super cool upgrade, the AHB police package. Yup, it was specifically designed for cops on patrol and had 2 doors or 4 doors to choose from depending on your style. You could also go for either 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive options. Fancy. The engine was nothing to sneeze at either, boasting a powerful inline 6-cylinder that delivered some serious oomph when you needed it most. The suspension deserves some props too, with upgraded shocks and sway bars, giving this baby an awesome ride quality everywhere she went. Safety features like anti-lock brakes were also standard issue, but what stood out to officers hitting top speeds on highways across America? The fact that there wasn't any kind of limiter holding them back so they could hit those sweet triple-digit figures without even breaking a sweat. At its debut, people were way into how well this thing performed next to all sorts of V8-powered vehicles used by police departments nationwide because, let's face it, nobody likes falling behind in high-speed pursuits. Chevrolet Impala. Back in 1980, the police had a car that was perfect for their work, the Chevrolet Impala. This special vehicle came with lots of cool features. The engine was really powerful because it had 6 cylinders and could go super fast without any problems. And if you needed to chase someone down quickly, this car also had an automatic transmission that made driving easy. What's more is that they built these cars extra sturdy so you'd feel safe behind the wheel. They designed it with strong front struts and stabilizer bars on both ends, making sure everything stayed steady even during rough spots. If some baddies are running away from justice, then don't worry, the brakes are incredible too. With 4-wheel discs, that means all wheels have efficient stopping power and anti-lock technology built in specifically calibrated just for law enforcement needs. The best part about this iconic car? It has all kinds of other nifty tricks up its sleeve, including electronics to keep crooks locked out while still keeping access when necessary. This ensures your safety whether chasing perps or safeguarding communities like neighborhood watch patrols by denying entry into vehicles, as well as providing optimum protection against battery drain failures, which ensured no one messed with all those gadgets inside. Plus, spacious interiors meant enough room not only for humans, but now officers can carry equipment too: radios, firearms, anything else that's essential. The 1978 Dodge Monaco. Back in the day, law enforcement agencies had a go-to ride, the 1978 Dodge Monaco police car. This car offered different engine options such as the 360 V8 with a 2-barrel carburetor and an optional 440 V8. The only transmission option was a smooth 3-speed automatic one that gave drivers ease of use when engaging gears. Notably enough for its time, this police vehicle boasted impressive features like its genuine speedometer, which could show up to speeds of around 150 miles per hour. That's faster than most normal cars back then. Car enthusiasts remember how fast it went too, hitting top speeds at approximately 126 miles per hour, according to trusted sources like Car and Driver. And even though mid-sized vehicles were common before this era, the B-body lineup made history by making the 78 Monaco their largest model ever produced. Sadly, the days where you'd spot these dependable rides on patrol are long gone. They got discontinued after just 1 year, ending what seemed to be another excellent addition from our friends over at Dodge Manufacturers along that famous lineup they once owned. So that's it, we just finished talking about the awesome police cars from back in the 70s. But wait, there's more fun to be had. If you're curious and want to learn even more about classic cop cars and other legendary vehicles like the ones we just talked about, make sure to follow our YouTube channel. By doing so, you'll never miss out on new videos where we uncover hidden stories and take a blast into the past. So stay tuned. 1998 Chevrolet Lumina. Back in 1998, Chevy rolled out a beefed-up version of their trusty Lumina sedan that was specifically made for law enforcement heroes. This powerhouse ride came with a serious engine under the hood, a mighty 3.8-liter V6 beast cranking out an impressive 200 horsepower. And when it comes to shifting gears on patrol duty, this bad boy packs some punch, sporting an automatic transmission with 4 speeds. Now you may be wondering about upgrades. Well, no one's quite sure if the police version had any special suspension or brake tweaks compared to its civilian cousin, but we bet those cops were gliding smoothly over potholes and slamming brakes like nobody's business. 1981 Dodge St. Regis. The 1981 Dodge St. Regis belonged to the R-Body group, which used an updated version of the B-Body design. In just 2.5 years, more than 64,000 were made. They only had one shape, like limousines you see in movies. Underneath this hood, there were either big or bigger engines. A V8 engine with 5.9 liters or 360 cubic inches helped it go fast by producing 195 horsepower, or another smaller V8 engine with 5.2 liters or 318 cubic inches, giving this car about 165 horses underneath the bonnet. It didn't use up too much fuel thanks to an axle ratio that measured at around 3 for every 10 turns of wheels on flat ground, allowing good acceleration without using as much gas. 1997 to 1999 Chevrolet Tahoe PPV and SSV. Back in the late 90s, Chevrolet created some special versions of their Tahoe SUV just for law enforcement officers. These cars were called the PPV or Police Pursuit Vehicle and SSV or Special Service Vehicle, and they had lots of cool features that helped cops do their jobs better. Underneath the hood was a big V8 engine that put out plenty of power to chase down bad guys on highways or back roads alike. And when it came to shift gears, these Tahoes used an advanced 10-speed automatic transmission, way fancier than what you'd find in your average family car. But it wasn't all about speed with these police vehicles. Chevy also made sure they could handle tight turns and other tricky maneuvers by tweaking things like suspension turning and ride height. Plus, there was tons of cargo space inside, so officers could store everything from evidence bags to spare gear needed out on patrol. It's no wonder so many law enforcement agencies loved using these custom Tahoes. They even had comfy seats designed specifically for wearing heavy-duty belts while driving around town, keeping watch over our safety. 1983 Dodge Diplomat. The 1983 Dodge Diplomat had a lot of cool features. Its engine was only available as a 318 CID V8 with a 2-barrel carburetor, but it could be upgraded to have better components like the 4-barrel intake manifold and heavy-duty parts. There were 3 transmission options for this bad boy: the heavy-duty A727, the A998, which could have either 4 or 5 clutches, or the A999 based on another model called the A904. Before 1984, police cars made by Chrysler, Dodge, and Plymouth all used something called an A38 designation in their names to let people know they were built specifically for law enforcement purposes. But after that year, the label was scrapped completely. And not gonna lie, when it comes down to performance comparisons against other popular police vehicles from Ford and Chevy during those years, the Dodge Diplomat held its own. 1995 to 2001 Ford Explorer SSV. Did you know that from 1995 to 2001, there was a special version of the Ford Explorer SUV made just for police officers? It was called the SSV or Special Service Vehicle and had some pretty cool features. The body-on-frame construction meant it could handle rough terrain like a champ. And under the hood, it had different engine options, including a powerful V6. Of course, safety is always important when chasing down bad guys on the road. So this special vehicle likely came equipped with typical police car safety features too. But what sets apart an SSV from your regular old family SUV are all those interior modifications. Extra space for officers and detainees, as well as plenty of room for equipment. Perfect for any high-speed pursuit or emergency. That's it, the amazing ending to our video of super cool police cars from the 90s. Did you love it? Want more? Let us know in the comments and we'll make a part 2. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button because there are tons of other exciting videos waiting for you just like this one.